Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Jeff Experience. So glad to have you on this cold Tuesday. But we've got some great information with a great guest, good friend of mine from way back when. We're going to bring her in, Dr. Lisa Oliver. Dr. Lisa Oliver, come on in the show.
Hey, hello, Dr. Fauntleroy. Oh, boy.
Oliver Caraway, right?
Yeah, but we're good.
I don't want your husband getting mad at me. I seen him. He's a big fella.
Yeah, but you've known me from way back, so you can just call me Lisa. Yes.
Listen, guys. We are both from Atlantic City, and we grew up. Really, you were about a block and a half away from me on Illinois.
That's true. Yeah.
Illinois Avenue.
Yeah.
And to this day, she thinks that I stole her radio from her porch.
You did, but we're not going to go there. They're not here to talk about it, but you did.
I'm going to buy her a new radio, transistor radio from way back.
Panasonic, it was yellow. But go
ahead. Okay. And you know I didn't take no yellow radio. Well, we're so glad to have her. Her brother is a good friend of mine. Brother Jay, right?
That's right.
Yeah, Brother Jay. And man, was such a beautiful person. So glad to have known her. Your whole family. But Dr. Oliver now is here, and she's doing great work here in the A. And I want to give you a little background on Dr. Oliver. She has a Doctor of Education and Adult Education from the University of Georgia. She conducted research within the framework of death and dying, emotion work, and informal learning, specifically focusing on the work of hospice care. She earned her Master of Science in Instructional Technology from Georgia State University and her Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering from the Howard University.
You know.
In addition to her educational background, Dr. Oliver is a level 1 chaplain with clinical pastoral education certification from Grady Healthcare, one of the busiest level 1 trauma centers in the United States. Yeah, if you know anything about Atlanta, you know Grady.
About Grady.
Yeah. So, listen, Dr. Oliver, welcome. They already welcoming you. They're chiming in. If you've got any comments or questions about what we're talking about tonight, just come on in and ask your question or your comment. So, Dr. Lisa, tell us a little about yourself. What you want the people to know about you.
Oh, my goodness. I am passionate about educating people on death, dying, bereavement, and trauma. Because here's the thing. I want to mitigate the generational dysfunction that occurs when we don't talk about the things that we need to talk about. So tonight, Dr. Jeff and I are going to talk about Advance Directives, what they are, what they can do for you. And then hopefully we have time when we'll talk about funeral planning. Right? We're all going to die, but for some reason we act like it's the first time we've ever heard of it when someone dies. So I just want to have just a very surface level discussion. Maybe if I impress y'all, maybe Dr. Jeff will bring me back and we can go deeper. But right now, let's talk about Advance Directives and then funeral planning.
Yeah, let me just kind of add something to this. So recently, I was a congregational care pastor at a big church here in the Atlanta area, and I did most of the funerals, a lot of the aftercare, a lot of walking families through the funeral process, or even sick and shut in. So
Mm.
I saw so many issues with the problem of a lack of planning.
Yes.
Listen, I'm a victim of it myself. I inherited my parents' house, and because of the lack of succession planning, we
Mm.
had to end up letting it go, and it was
Oh,
horrible. Yeah, it was horrible.
mm.
And I just know, and I used to tell people all the time, listen, make sure that you have all your paperwork in tow. Make sure you have everything ready because everybody's going to transition. We're not on this earth forever.
Right,
So
right, exactly.
don't put your family through the problems of having things tied up in
It's
the state
probate.
uh,
Hmm.
pro where you can't get your house, wives leave, husbands have to leave, children can't get what's inherited. I mean, just a mess. And then it's the other part about, the child from, and all of that.
I don't know
Kids,
about about that, but go ahead.
kids they didn't even know they had come talking about, that's my mama, that's my daddy. Oh,
I know,
Lord.
right?
So, Dr. Oliver, the floor is yours.
Yeah. What's mine? Say it
The
again.
floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, are you gonna let me share? You gonna
Yeah,
put my
absolutely. Watch how
okay.
technical I am.
All stuck in there. Here's what I want to say first of all, while Dr. Jeff
Uh,
gets the thing. I am an educator. I am not a lawyer nor a clinician. So everything that I talk to you from is from my research and is for educational purposes only. I strongly suggest that when it comes to an advance directive, that the, depending on the size of the estate, and I'll get into that a little bit later, talk to an estate planning attorney. Depending on how large the estate is really not that expensive. But if you think about the drama that you're saving your family, it is really worth it. So are you ready? You gonna let me? Oh, I can present now. Okay,
yeah,
hold on.
I think so.
Oh no,
Oh wow.
because I'm
Okay.
looking. Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's see. Let's see.
Let
Let's
me share my
see.
screen. Hold on. Something's coming up.
Is it?
Okay, let me share this.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Cool, cool.
So so first, I want to give you to tell you what advanced care planning is. And I'm just going to read it because every time I try to talk off the cuff, I miss something. But I won't read off
Sure.
the screen any other time. What is
Take your
advanced
time.
care planning? Advanced care planning is making decisions about the care you would want to receive if you become unable to speak for yourself. These are your decisions to make regardless of what you choose for your care, and the decisions are based on your personal values, preferences, and discussions with your loved ones. And
Oh
this is
wow.
from the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization.
Oh wow.
And why is it important to have one? Because life can come at you fast.
Yeah.
And I always start with a story. And this is my family. This is a fictional account, but it can happen to any family at any time. This is my family and I. We were in Maine. This is 2008. So we're driving back home to Atlanta and we get sideswiped by a tractor trailer. Me and the kids just have broken bones and some bruises, but Jeff is crushed. His whole left side is crushed. His spleen is ruptured. His lungs are collapsed. There's some brain damage. They're really not sure. Essentially, they're saying the doctors are saying, we got to wait for 24 hours.
Oh
And then
wow.
we can if he makes it through the next 24 hours, likely he is not going to be the person you know, but he will be alive. So here
Wow.
I am. I'm saying, well, I've been married to this man for 27 years, and I got good insurance, so we need to do everything we need to do to keep my husband alive. I
Right.
don't care. Pull out all the stops.
Right.
And so right now, my position is instrumentalism because I'm focused on being Jeff's wife. And
Mm.
if Jeff dies, I don't have a husband anymore. So
Mm.
that's my whole concern. I'm more concerned that I need to keep my husband. We need to do everything because otherwise I won't be a wife. My
Wow.
daughter is like, well, Mom, I know Daddy. If Daddy can't tinker with the car or go to Home Depot or just do what he wants to do, Daddy's not going to want to live like that, So I think we should just, keep it, just be considerate. So Caraway, that's my daughter's name. She is about conditionalism. She is saying if Dad can't do certain things, then we need to let Dad go. And my son is saying, well, you know what? As long as Daddy's alive, I still have a daddy. So you know what? It doesn't matter, And Justin is doing vitalism, which he means that life is good no matter the quality, right? So this is what we're going through. We have all different ideas of what's best for Dad, and now we're separated, right? We all have our own issues. Actually, the daughter in this case is actually the one in the right, because we're all saying, I'm worried about still being a wife. Justin's more concerned about Dad just being alive. But the thing is, we forgot about what Jeff wanted. We had no consideration. Now, see, if Jeff had written down his advance directives, we would have a piece of paper to say, yeah, this is what Dad wants, and this is what we're going to do. Wow. So, and it happens all the time.
Wow.
It happens all the time. And so, it's, okay, I'm stop screen sharing. So again, this was something I want the people to see, because this is a family. They're hanging out, they're having fun. Life happens, and now everybody is at each other.
Wow. Wow. That's so big, and you're so right. As you get older, you start thinking about this stuff even more. And I look around sometimes, and I look at the house, I look at some of the things that we've acquired, and I think to myself, God, and I have this work, but I have to get signatures. And how many times has it appeared that someone had everything written out, but they never followed up with the notary getting signed and then having it so that it's available?
Yeah.
And then something happens.
Yeah. And the thing about an advance directive is that depending upon the state, it does not have to be notarized. But what's important is that you give it to someone that you can trust to honor your wishes, right? So you can go like to AARP, and they have a list of all the states, and you can download it from there. And so, some people, and some, I educate people. They're like, oh, it's no problem. I got a will, and a will does not become effective until the person is deceased. I am talking about what happens leading up and including the death of the person. And so that's why you have to have an advance directive. So an advance directive will do 4 things for you. I just outlined. 1, in the event of decisional incapacitation, an advanced care plan will maximize the likelihood that the medical care serves your goals. Now, this takes some in thought and think about what you want, right? So what do you want? Do you want them to pull out all the, when I say them, do you want the medical community to pull out all the stops? Do you want only if the doctor says, it doesn't look like you're going to live? Do you just want to have the pain taken away? There's all different ways that you can be cared for, but you have to write that down and give it to someone. So the first thing, go ahead.
No, there's a comment I want to ask you about. It says video is a great way to let your family know what your wishes are. How about that? Is that something that
I agree with that. The only thing with that is if you don't have the piece of paper and electronically, I agree with it in theory, but people need to see the signature, because I think people will say, and I'll answer that in a second. I think people, I think it leaves room for doubt. Oh, such and such just did that because they could get the car or something. So there is a difference between an advance directive and a living will. And so I will hit that in a second, okay? Okay. So the second thing, it will minimize the likelihood of over or under treatment. if you put in your advance directive exactly what you want, you don't have to worry about the medical establishment not giving you what it is you want. And so here's the thing. When you are, for some reason, we are intimidated by a costume. When I say a costume, if just because a person has on a white jacket with their name and a stethoscope, we almost give them our power, right? And so if you have this document that has the, that has the signature of loved one saying, this is what I want, this is what you can take to the doctor and say, this is what I want. And just let me jump ahead a second. If in fact you have your advance directive and you feel as though the doctors are not listening to you, it is your right to ask for the ethics person. They're called the ombudsman. And the ethics person or the ethics office will sit down with the doctor and sit down with the family and come to a resolution. But that is a right that you have if you do not feel that the medical establishment is not listening to you. So one, it maximizes the likelihood that the medical care will serve your goals. It minimizes the likelihood of over or under treatment. Because here's another thing. If you're at a teaching hospital, you don't know if that physician has a grant whose research is predicated on your exact disease. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this person has a grant for kidney research. And so he or she may be giving you extra medicines because that falls in line with, you just don't know.
I hope my wife is not listening to this. Dr. Lisa, I got sick in 2016 and I came down with an autoimmune disease and almost died. And my wife got into a big battle with the nephrologist. And she didn't think that what she was doing was correct. Now, my wife's a nurse of just retired over 40 years. She knows what's going on.
Respect.
And I was so sick and I couldn't really say anything, but I saw that there was something going on. But I never thought about I never thought about the fact that maybe this person has a grant in that particular and over medicating. Hey, let me stop right here. Guys, listen. If you're listening to this, please share this. Share this with your friends. We're on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube Live, we're on Instagram Live. This stuff is too good. If you want to live a good life, you want to live a healthy life, please know that all of that can to a halt any time. And you don't want your family to have to be burdened with the fact that you passed away and you got to deal with all of the stuff that goes with that. Share this right now. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Doc.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not saying that the whole medical establishment is after such and such, but things happen. Also, most doctors get into the profession to save lives. So they might want to keep on trying different things because they might feel as though they're a failure if they don't save a life. But it's crazy when you think about it because life is a cycle. But the point is that you got to have that advance directive and you got to have the right person to stand in for you. The third thing that an advanced care plan can do for you is reduce the likelihood of conflicts between your spokesperson, your family members, and the healthcare providers. I can tell you, and you've probably seen this too, Dr. Jeff, you see there's big mamas in the hospital. Big mama got 5 children. Between the 5 children, they got 6 different ways of how to take care of big mama. Now, I'm going to tell you something. It's something called spiritual distress. Just like you picked up that something was going on between your wife and that doctor, the person in the bed can pick up the stress that's going on between the family members. And so therefore, they're holding on because they know once they die, the family's going to go into chaos. So it's very important that, again, you have this document to show that you're the one who's supposed to make the call. And see, that's difficult because, maybe a mother or a father don't want to put that third child in control, because then what does it say about the first 2 older ones? It's a rough decision to make because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But But you all know if you have more than one child, you know that one child is going to be able to take care of something and the other one is just going to fall apart. So you have to have that, give that to the person. This reduces the likelihood of the conflict between your spokesperson, the family members, and the healthcare providers. The fourth one is it minimizes the burden of decision making on the person. Eventually, somebody.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Can you unpack number 3 a little bit more? Because that was real big right there.
Okay. Number 3 is right. So, in an event of a decisional incapacity, an advanced care plan will reduce the likelihood. And if you want, I can share the screen so that.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So let me share the screen.
You share it and I'll bring it on.
Okay, I'm trying. It's not giving me. Okay, hold on. All right, cool.
There it is.
Okay. So number 3 is it reduces the likelihood of conflicts between your spokesman and the family members and the healthcare providers. Let's say I'm the oldest of 3 children, right? So
right.
I could say, all right, I want to let mom go, but my brother and my sister may have, a conflict with that. They may be the one that says, no, we need to hold on. So here you are fighting with your family members. Or again, you might have healthcare providers who are saying, no, we should try this therapy, or we should try that therapy, or we should try this. But if you have that piece of paper with your parent or your loved one's signature, that gives you the power, I think internal power, to say, no, this is what my loved one wants, and this is what we're going to do. So there's no conflict there if you had that piece of paper. Right?
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Have you ever run into the spiritual aspect? Let's say one is a Christian, one is a Muslim, one may be Hindu, Buddhist, or this, that, and the other. How do you deal with those aspects of this?
As the chaplain, I would ask the patient, what is the patient's religion? What is the patient's spirituality?
Oh,
and that's
wow.
That's how we go. Because it's really, the focus is on the patient. You could have everybody doing different things, but what does the patient want? And again, that's why it's so important that we write this stuff down, because your loved one could say, oh, if this happens, I want that to happen. And so our mind plays tricks on us. Our mind might be saying, well, when mommy said that, she was kind of joking. So maybe she was just playing and she didn't want us to pull the plug. Or maybe, you got to have it written down in black and white. You just have to.
Yeah.
Because when you are stressed out, it is hard to make decisions. And that's when we go to number 4. Somebody's going to eventually have to make that decision. And this minimizes the burden of decision making on the spokesperson or the family member. Because later on down the line, you're going to say, well, Dad, maybe I should have waited another day. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. You're going to have family members saying, you killed mommy. This is what I'm talking about regarding mitigating the generational dysfunction. I am sure all our listeners have something going on. Families are not speaking to each other. And the reason why is because of some bullshit, pretty much. Because nothing was written down and someone had to make that decision. And that someone is going to be thinking about for the rest of their days, right? And it's just, we just got to stop that. We have it. I'm telling you, this is hard stuff to think about, because I had to lead by example, right? So I had to do my advanced care plan. That thing sat on my desk for 3 weeks before I even touched it. And this is my passion, right? So it's, it's hard to do.
Here's a question that came up. What's your thought about having more than one POA?
No, you got to have one. Now, the one thing about it, because otherwise you're going to have those 2 people deciding, right? You can have like 1, 2, or 3, because maybe the first person doesn't want to do it, and that's their right.
Right.
But to have 2 people equal, no, you got to decide on one. You got to.
Yeah. You know what? As you're talking, I'm just I had another brother that dealt with wills, trust, and all that kind of stuff. He's from a funeral home. And man, when he was talking, I'm writing stuff down. The next day, I'm putting all these things together, and it was like, I can't believe that I'm actually doing this. But as I started doing this, there was a relief that came over me in knowing that, you know what, everything is said. And I mean, I have it written right down to who does what, who doesn't do what.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Who gets to say something, who doesn't get to say something, all of that.
Right.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Right. No. I mean, yeah, I love this though, because you see the value of it, right? I mean, because you see the value of it. So that's valuable. So here's the process of an advanced care plan. Think about what it is you want. You got to think about it, right? Then the next thing is, hold on. What's going on with the thing? It's not moving. Hold on, you want to talk about your values and your preferences with a person that you trust. And here's the thing, this advanced directive is not going to cover everything. And if we go back looking at COVID, no one knew that COVID was going to come, right?
Yeah,
so people were having to make decisions. So this is someone that you speak to about what you want. So this individual will have a really good feeling about what you want to do within a certain circumstance.
So you want to do this while you're healthy, right?
Most people don't, but yeah, you want to do it while you're healthy, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to wait till you get sick and have to do this.
No, you don't.
Okay.
No, you don't.
Okay. I just want to point that out.
No, you're right. You don't, even though, And so let me back up a second. Nowadays, when you even go to the dentist's office, they'll ask you, do you have an advanced directive? And while that's fine, they're just really trying to cover themselves, right? An advanced directive takes a lot of time and thought. So there's a lot of times that you fill it out. And
that's a scary thing to hear from the dentist, though. I got to tell you.
Oh, I know. It's right. But everything has everything has its possibilities, right? So you want to document, once you think through your values and preferences and you talk to a person, you want to document that and put it in the advanced directive. Then you want to distribute it to a trustworthy individual. Not only trustworthy that they're not going to tell you business, but trustworthy that when the rubber hits the road, they'll be a pit bull and they will not stand down. That is the thing. And then you want to review it periodically, because sometimes we think one and done. Maybe you should do it every year.
Wow.
So I want to jump here a second, an advanced directive for healthcare. And someone asked, what's the difference between an advanced directive and a living will? The living will speaks for you if you cannot speak for yourself, right? So as a matter of fact, if you see right here, down here, a living will is a document that states your wishes regarding healthcare. So if you're unable to speak for yourself and how that comes about, if you're in the hospital, two doctors, the attending physician and another physician, have to determine that you are not able to speak for yourself. And then in that case, that's when the living will becomes active. Okay. Oh, wow. So let me jump up here. So again, we're talking about the components of the healthcare plan. The advanced directive is the directive to tell a person, to name a person to speak on your behalf in the event that you don't want to speak for yourself.
Okay, can you go back to the last one again? Because this is really good stuff. Listen, guys, again, share this, like this, let somebody know about this, please. This can save you a lot of stress. I can't even tell you the stuff that I have witnessed when it came to funeral planning in my former life as congregational care pastor. You think, anyway, this is important.
Okay.
So
and this right
is different from the advanced healthcare.
No, hold on. The advanced care plan consists of a power of attorney.
Okay,
and that's the person.
The care plan.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So the care plan is three things.
Okay.
So we have this first to the left, the advanced directive for healthcare. And that gives you is, and these are the three things that it can do for you. But I want to jump to, I believe it was a Karen Fauntleroy that asked,
Yeah.
what's the difference between the power of attorney and the living will? The power
Right.
of attorney, you give that to someone to make all your healthcare decisions if you are unable or unwilling to do so.
Okay.
So that person speaks for you. The living will is the document that states your wishes regarding the healthcare.
Okay. Okay.
Now, you
Wow.
can
Wow.
put down more than one power of attorney, but I suggest that you do it, you prioritize it. You can't say Lisa Oliver and Jeff Oliver are your power of attorneys because we can get into it about what's the best care, right? So you have to prioritize who is what, right?
Wow.
So that's the difference between that. And I don't want to go into, because I kind of get into the weeds with this, but the
Uh-huh.
thing is that an advance directive for healthcare is a legal document, which means if you get hit by a car, it is the EMT's responsibility to stabilize you. So if for some reason you say that you don't want to be resuscitated, that's not for the EMTs to do. The EMTs are to get you stabilized, to get you to the hospital for the doctors to decide what to do. So an advanced care plan is a legal document. And this is you're going to understand the reason why in a little bit later. So the next thing, and this is so important, this is called the physician's order for life-sustaining treatment. It's called the POST. Now, if the doctor, and I say the medical professional, because it depends upon the state, right? If the doctor or medical professional believes that you will not live another 365 days, they sign this thing that's known as a POST. And this is a medical order. So again, if you get hit by a car, and the doctor, the medical establishment does not believe that you're going to live another 365 days. This is a medical order that when the EMTs come, they're going to let you die if that is what you want to do. This is completely different. So that's what I'm saying. Where but see, it's a medical document. Because some people have stage 4 cancer, right? And so they're in hospice, right? And so no person can just fill this out. You have to be going to a doctor and they have to fill this out. But again, this is something that if you say that your advance directive is that you don't want any life-sustaining treatment, the EMTs are supposed to adhere to that. But, that's down the line. Wow. The next thing is the statutory form, which is the financial power of attorney. So that's two different things. And I understand that some people only have one person to handle the finances and another person to handle the health care. But as you can probably figure, there could be a conflict of interest. For example, let's say I'm sick and Jeff is my financial power of attorney and my healthcare power of attorney. Well, perhaps Jeff got a little honey on the side and he really wants me to be dead. And so there's the conflict of interest right there, right? Because the person's handling the money. So, and a estate planning attorney will suggest that you have two different people, but it's not. And really the reason why this is important is because, and I'm going to explain in a minute, our dude, John Singleton. We all know who John Singleton was. He was the youngest director.
I just realized that he passed away. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he had a stroke. And this is why this is crazy. So John Singleton had a stroke. Some decisions needed to be made. He wasn't married at the time. And his mother was trying to make these healthcare decisions. Well, he had a daughter, and the daughter did not want the daughter did not want her grandmother to make these healthcare decisions. So they had to go to the court to get the court to grant John Singleton's mother to be power of attorney. And see, this is time taken away from the loved one. You can't love on John right now because you got to go to the court to get right. So then John was sick for longer than 30 days. Most of us are on a 30-day cycle. The rent has to be paid. I'm sure he has employees. Stuff had to be maintained financially. So again, John's mama had to go to the court to be named the financial power of attorney. See, again, when we don't handle the things that we need to handle, when the time comes, people are fighting and they're not loving on you, telling stories about how. Go ahead.
Let me get this straight, because that's deep right there. I didn't know anything about that. So a power of attorney is separate from a financial power of attorney. Is that right?
Correct. That's correct.
Oh,
because if you go here,
I always thought that the power of attorney was the umbrella document that gave you the authority to deal with finances and everything else.
No, and that's why we need to go. You see here, I have the Advance Directive for Healthcare, and then this third one over is the statutory form power of attorney. They're two different things.
Okay, so you have to have a power of attorney and then a financial power of attorney?
Right. Now, if it's like you and your wife, that shouldn't matter, right? But to see, the thing is, John Singleton was not married at the time.
Oh, okay.
So no one was handling his money except for John. John's mother was able to, because she was his manager for a while. So no, if it's a husband and wife, and again, husband and wife, you can't be boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right,
you can't be, even if you're in a same-sex partner, it doesn't matter. You have to be married.
Okay. So legally married, the power of attorney will encompass all of the financial decisions also, correct?
Right. As long as everybody's name is on the check or is on the bank account, right? So if you have a bank account that's separate from someone else that you're married to, no, your wife is not going to be able to go to that. Everything that's between the two of y'all, of course, the spouse can go to.
Wow.
But anything that is not, and again, I'm doing educational. So if someone really needs to know, they need to go to an estate planning attorney. And I got a couple of very good ones here in Atlanta. But that's it, right? You have to be married. And so if you're married, you shouldn't have to worry about this too much. But also on the accounts, both names have to be on the account.
So my wife can't get to my golf stash.
Nope. Mrs. Fauntleroy, you now know you need to go find where the golf stash.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough.
From one home girl to another, okay, sis, go find out where the golf stash and his cigar stash too. So
no. Okay. They asked about a DNR. Is that a DNR? That one that you talked about? This.
Sorry, I don't mean to jump around.
Right. No.
Right.
So
this. So if you look closely, there's a part 1, part 2, 3, and 4. Part 2 is the treatment preferences, and that's where you would put the DNR.
Okay.
So if you want, Dr. Jeff, we can actually go through one at another time. We can go through one.
Yeah, we definitely got to have you back. My God, this is
right. Woo. And I used to do this at the at the library system, and I would hand out the Advance Directives so people can see the components of it, because there's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to jump back to the step. I was talking about John Singleton. Okay.
Yeah.
So John Singleton, I talked about how his mom had to go to the court and get the healthcare power of attorney. His mom had to go back to the court and get the financial power of attorney. Then John dies. John has a will, but John's will was done when he had one child, and I think he had 6 more, right? So and it's, just go with me on this. Don't hold it as fact. But John had 1 child and 1 baby mother. And I think he had 2 other families. So you had like 6 or 7 children and 3 baby mothers, right? And the will. So they had to contest the will. So again, the lawyers get about 33% of whatever it is. So you have, let's say John's worth $10 million.
Yeah.
And there's 3 different lawyers doing something. And that doesn't include the court fees. So after it's all said and done, they only making $25,000 a piece. I mean, I don't know, but understand if this is a man who's maybe worth 10 million between the court fees and the lawyers and the dividing stuff up, no, you're not left with any money. That's why it's so important, because your legacy is gone. Your legacy is gone. All because you didn't handle your business, because we thought we were going to live forever. And we got, it's just crazy.
Wow. Here's a question. What about if you marry and have a separate account? Can you still have the rights to the accounts after death?
Who, if you marry and you have a separate account, who's that? Okay, tell me the person. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute so I can. So if you are married, I stop sharing and something's not happening. Hold on.
What about if you marry and have a separate account? Can you still have the rights to the accounts after death?
No, because you're dead. You're dead. The person, if it's your account and you're alone and you don't have a will, right? So so let's just say, me and Jeff are married. This Jeff, Fauntleroy married.
Right.
If Jeff has a separate account and I don't know about it, and Jeff's name is the only name on the account,
right?
I don't have any right to that. And in addition, if he doesn't have a payable or death benefit, or he doesn't have a will, it's going to go to the state. So no, you have to have, it's important to have a will. It's important. Yeah. I mean, you just don't.
My God. I was, never mind. I was trying to do a conference at my church, and because this is so important, because I see this all the time. And I hope around April, I'm planning on doing another conference. And we partnered with AARP, my nonprofit. When I say we had a young lady on from AARP about 3 shows ago. And she came on to talk about fraud and senior citizens and fraud. But we're going to have her be a part of that conference. And I'll let you know in advance so you can make time to have that, have this presentation available. But go ahead. I'm sorry. This is so important.
No, that's good. So that was the whole John Singleton thing, is that one, he didn't have an advance directive. It took time away from the family for loving on him.
Right.
Because everybody was trying to get stuff done. Right. So
how can you
that's
mourn?
Right. Well, how can you mourn? But I mean, if you think about it, I guess, I don't know. It's just, the whole thing is just. So here's the thing. There's resources, and, perhaps, Jeff, I can send it to you. There's all types of resources that you can get to put it in writing. And then actually, there's even something called the Conversation Project, and this is really good. Okay, let me share this again.
Sure.
Because I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to the thing, but I got good stuff here, and I
know, absolutely. Listen, guys. In the meantime, while she's sharing her screen, if you go to my Facebook page, we put up the link to, or here's a link here. You can go to drlisaoliver.com, and you can get a link to her new book that's out. And also, if you want to see, there's great information on her website. If you're in the Atlanta area, you want to attend any of her conferences. I attended one at the library.
You did.
Where was that, Doc?
It was in College Park, and I think you were living in Snellville. For those of you who don't live in Atlanta, that's like going from Atlantic City to New York City. Honey. That's how far.
No, but let me tell you, the whole way home, I was like, my God, that was unbelievable. Wow. Yes, this is all on the website, drlisaoliver.com. A lot of this stuff is on the website. And what's not on the website, you can contact her, and, you'll pay. You got to pay. This ain't free. This ain't free. This ain't free. And tonight, we want you to put your Cash App up also. We want to make sure. Listen. Oh, no. We bless our guests. Yeah, we want to bless our guests. We want to bless our guests. But it's available on her website, And here's the link. It'll be scrolling. It'll be scrolling.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry.
You know how to work this thing, this technology boy. So,
Hey.
when I do these things about advanced directives, I have older people that says I cannot get my children to pay attention or have a serious conversation, or I'll get children to say I can't get my parents to talk about it. And this is called the Conversation Project. And this Ellen Goodman, she used to be a columnist for the Boston Globe. And when her mother were very close, but once her mother became ill and died, she realized that she didn't really know what her mother wanted. So she started this thing called the Conversation Project, and it's online, conversationproject.org, and it gives you a kit of how to get the conversation started with that loved one. Love this thing.
Okay.
And this other one is, why is it not? Oh, these are my resources. As you see, NAARP, the American Bar Association. All you have to do is Google Advanced Care Directives. You shouldn't be paying for anything. Now, if you're going to go to an estate planning attorney, yeah, you probably will have to pay. But all these things are just free for you to, you shouldn't have to pay for it. You just shouldn't have to pay. So,
and all of this stuff you can Google and get online?
Oh yeah, you can get online. Yeah, I would definitely AARP, because they're the standard, right?
Yeah,
AARP and they have something for every state.
Absolutely.
And it also talks to you about healthcare and all that kind of stuff. So definitely.
So when you say they have something for every state, so if you're in New Jersey, if you're in Pennsylvania, the paperwork will be generic to that state, so that no one can contest this or that and the other, because it's according to what the state standards are, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Very interesting.
And then they also have where is it? Oh, they have digital advanced care planning now. So if you go to Vital Decisions or My Directives, I'm pretty sure that this is the charge for this, but they do have digital advanced care planning.
And what's that called? Vital Decisions?
Vital Decisions and My Directives.
Okay. Wow, guys, listen, I pray that you have taken all of this serious. I really do.
I hope so too. Oh, here's some more. Apple has an app to store your directive, and somewhere called Vinca. Now these are just, these are not endorsements. These are just from my research. So
right.
Don't say Dr. Lisa Oliver sent me. The only one I really do endorse is AARP, because they just, they're on.
Yeah, they're the standard.
They're the standard.
Yeah, I got my cards in the mail.
Child, they don't even wait till you're 50 before they send you. So are we ready to go to funeral planning? Do we want to, I need to answer some questions before we go to funeral planning?
Let me see. Is this all on your website? Yes, I answered that. Right, need a second visit. They already requested you for a second visit.
Yay! Bless you. Mwah, mwah.
All right, let's go.
All right, now funeral planning. Now, 5 things.
We lost your screen. You were sharing it, and then it went off.
Okay, so you can't see nothing right now?
I can see you, but I don't see the screen that you were sharing.
Okay, so hold on. Let's stop. Let's see what happened.
Because this is a good thing right here, guys. Listen, make sure you invite somebody to this conversation. Share it. If you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube. There it is. We got you.
Okay, cool. So right now you should just see an orange screen that says funeral plan, right?
We got it. Yep.
Okay, cool. So come on now. 5 things that a funeral plan can do for those who leave behind. It provides instruction on what needs to happen once your death has been pronounced. And what I'm talking about is if you have minor children or dependent adult children, who should be contacted to take care of them? If you have pets, what is the plan to take care of the pet?
Oh, boy, that's big. That's big, because my
That's
dog,
big.
man, ain't nobody
Right.
gonna take care of my dog unless I know they love him.
Right, exactly. So these are the things we need to think about. Think about it. They just pronounced you dead and Grady. Who needs to call your kids? Well, not who's to call your kids. What needs to happen to your kids?
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
if you, and again, if you have a dependent adult, you know, who needs to take care of that? Is there a particular mortuary service that is preferred? Are you going to go to a crematory, a funeral home? Is your body going to science? For example, oh my God, we got to do a funeral one, Dr. Jeff, because there's all different ways that you can have your body. For example,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
body, when I die, I'm going to the body farm at the University of Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's an anthropological, it's a 2-acre farm. And they put bodies out there to see how the elements affect certain bodies for certain things. I'm a Black woman, 60 years old. I got heart disease and I'm diabetic. So my body is going to decompose differently than a 20-something-year-old or even a well 60-year-old. So this is a way to give your body the science and help other people in future generations. So that's anyhow,
Wow.
that's
Wow.
what I'm doing. The only problem is the University of Tennessee will only come get people within 100 miles. So I think my husband, Jeff, is going to have to put me in the trunk of the car and drive me up there. But that's
I would love to donate this brain to science, boy. I tell you.
so. But anyhow, so a funeral plan does this. It provides instruction on what needs to happen once your death has been pronounced. The second
Right.
thing is it identifies who needs to be notified and what needs to be stated. In
Wow.
addition to the loved ones, or perhaps an old flame, you want to know, are there certain newspapers who should carry your obituary or your death notice? It would
Wow.
be really helpful to your family if you wrote your obituary out and maybe have a picture that you want to have used, right? So it's, a lot of times people don't know the whole life of the loved one. So they really
Yeah.
struggle with the obituary. So again, the first thing provides instruction on what needs to happen once you're dead, identify who needs to be notified, direct the individual where the important papers are, what's the information and where the artifacts can be found. Where's the insurance policy? If you prepare
Ooh.
for a funeral, where's the paperwork? If you
Ooh.
are a member of a sorority, fraternity, Masonic organization, there's pins and paraphernalia that ain't supposed to go to Goodwill. There's a process that stuff is supposed to be disposed of.
That's
That,
right.
that's the stuff you need to put down. Okay,
Ooh.
let's
This
talk
is
about the
good.
funeral. What should your funeral look like? People be getting into arguments because Big Mama should have on the yellow dress versus the blue pantsuit. Now we all know it ain't about the yellow dress or the blue pantsuit, but we start to pick arguments over them stuff. So anyhow,
Wait,
what
wait,
should
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a
what?
minute. Let me tell
You
you,
know I'm right.
you are so right, and I have had to referee funerals
Oh,
where family members wanted Biggie to be played as they
yeah,
entered into the church, the
right.
Temptations, and they wanted to dance a certain dance, and they
Yeah.
wanted the body to be standing up, and it's like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Oh my God.
whoa,
I gotta talk to your people about extreme
whoa.
embalming. It is so wild. It is so much stuff out there now. You can go out anywhere you want. But anyhow, okay. But you're right. So what should your funeral look like? Is there a certain lipstick or nail polish you want applied? Is there a certain song, a poem to be read? Do you want your program to look a certain type of way? Do you want a repast? If you want a repast, do you want it at a certain restaurant? It's just all these things that have to be thought of. And let me say one more
Surprised the
thing.
cat didn't come since the
If
cat.
you ain't got Willie Watkins money with the doves and all that, and what you call it, the horse-drawn
The
carriage,
horse-drawn carriage.
but my thing is, please, if you do not have the money, if you do not leave the money for that, do not have your family going to GoFundMe, going into debt. I have done
Yeah.
death cafes where someone told me,
Tuesday night.
they help their wedding rings and stuff so they can get their mom what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was exactly when you
and I
called me. I was
understand.
because the
I
phone's
understand
right
you
here. That's
want to
exactly
call
when you called
me.
me.
Good luck on a
No,
good
I
send
mean,
off. But don't
You
ask
ain't never I was gonna do that. But yeah,
for this
that's
stuff that you see on Real Housewives of Atlanta and you
Yeah,
can't afford it. That's just not fair to anybody.
yeah.
Um,
And
so
you know,
yeah.
my mom passed right at the height of COVID, and the
Did she?
state was shut down, so
Oh,
we couldn't access any of her insurance through the state that she had. Nothing.
mm-hmm.
So everything had to come out of pocket.
Mm,
Uh, it was rough. It was
I can
rough.
imagine.
It was months
Yeah.
to get everything where normally it would have taken 3 to 5 days, but it was
Yeah.
right at the height of COVID
yeah.
when everything shut down.
These shows are crazy.
Wow. My condolences on that because, COVID and how it affected everyone grief wise, how you couldn't be with the person when they were dying, how you couldn't you couldn't have a funeral. You couldn't, how when we have what you call it, when someone dies, we all go to each other's house and talk
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whatnot. You
none of that.
couldn't have that. It's
No
so
wait.
much that we couldn't do. Right, couldn't have wait.
Everything was
There's so much that we
graveside.
could. Right, right. There was nothing. All the ways that we used to comfort each other when a loved one dies, we were not able to do that.
Yeah,
And it is, I probably decades from now we'll learn the residual, the
effect.
result,
Yeah.
right, the effect of not being able to comfort each other and ourselves. It was just awful.
Listen, guys, this we're gonna move. We're gonna continue on right up until we can't. But please, 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 if you have any questions, put them in the comments now, or you see drlisaoliver.com
Okay.
scrolling across the
You need a
bottom of the
clean towel?
screen. Get in touch with her. But
Okay, so
please
you still got this
know
stuff. Okay.
you need to have this. Dr. Oliver is an expert. She has spent so much time putting this stuff together. I'm telling you from experience, from being a pastor, being a staff pastor, through church since 1989, I have seen the worst part of my ministerial experience has been
Mm,
funerals
mm.
because I see families either come together or get further apart.
Yeah.
So please take this seriously. Go ahead, Dr. Oliver. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you're fine. You're fine. Actually, you probably can write a real good book, Dr. Jeff, on your
Uh,
funeral
I
experience.
do. I still could. Woo,
You
Lord.
could. The last one, number 5, is you can give. Come on, computer. Ah, give special notes to your loved ones. Sometimes we are unable to say things in life. And so perhaps you
Oh,
can leave nice notes. I don't want anybody saying, you were a son of a bitch and you were never any good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's easier to say things in death than in life.
or
So it's
that,
an opportunity to do that. Huh?
or that.
No, we don't want to do that. We want to operate out of peace and love and all that kind of stuff.
My God, my God,
So
this has blown my entire mind. Um,
I guess that's a good thing. Yeah.
I, wow, yeah, good idea. Yeah, this is who I didn't even think of that. Writing notes, things that you can't say in life that you
Yeah.
could probably say in death.
Yeah.
Um, how you really felt about people, and you know that they did not know how you really felt.
Yeah.
Uh, oh man, I,
I mean, that's powerful. And again, you're leaving. And so again, I do the advanced directive thing because I want to mitigate that generation dysfunction. I do the funeral planning thing because I want everyone to leave a legacy of peace and order, right? And I do think that this, if it's done and if it's carried out, you leave a legacy of peace and order. They ain't nobody's having a hand in the hat or do a GoFundMe. You know, you're giving peace because maybe you're writing a letter and you're letting that person know you love them and you thank them for all they did. And so
yeah.
it's good stuff.
Listen. I'm almost brought to tears because
Why?
I know for a fact how powerful this is. I have, as I said, in from 2020 to 2023, during the height of COVID, I was doing probably 2 to 3 funerals a week. We were at different uh, burial sites here in the Atlanta area. And it would take the procession a long time to get in because all you saw were tents all around the graveyards.
Jesus. Yeah.
So we had to wait for the funeral. And it got to the point where it had become a social gathering.
Mm. My God.
And during those planning sessions for those who were about to transition or have transitioned, I sat with those families. And I used to have to try and have them talk about the loved one and try to break the ice and get them to, for me to get a feel of who it is that I'm getting
That
ready.
person is.
Yeah, I'm getting ready
Right.
to funeralize this person. And as I
Right.
teach young pastors, this is the last time that that family will have the opportunity to memorialize that family member. So
Hmm.
you want to know who it is. It's not about your preaching style. It's not about
Yes.
else. It's about the person. It's really about the family, comforting the family.
Hmm.
I always talk about comfort the family, honor the dead, lift up Jesus,
Yes.
and go home.
Absolutely.
But I say this, and what brought me almost to tears is the the amount of peace that people would have had they have had this information.
Mm.
Advanced planning,
Hmm.
little details. This last thing that you just said about writing notes to your loved ones about how you felt about them, the good part, so that you leave with this memorial in your
Yes.
heart and on paper that this is what my auntie left me. This is what my grandmother
Yes.
left me. This is what my mother left me. This is what my uncle left me. That that means so much. And then the advanced planning, the directives, uh,
Hmm.
the example that you talked about with John Singleton.
Hmm.
I mean, wow.
And y'all can just Google it. Google. It's a whole saga about what happened with John Singleton. And it was just,
I,
And
I
you know
did.
what? Something. When you were talking about the family, something that just came on, and so you don't mind if I share.
Yeah, yeah,
For a
please.
while, I was a chaplain at Grady, and at times the whole family would be there,
Yeah,
and it's death. I'm not saying death is a funny thing, but people don't know what to do, right?
yeah, yeah.
And I will tell you that when a person is dying, the hearing is the last thing to go. So before I say a prayer to usher this person off, I say, well, tell me about this lady. She looked like she ain't take a whole lot of stuff. Tell me about, and they start telling stories, right?
Right, right.
And they tell stories, and I feed off of that. And so if you ever get opportunity to be with someone while they are transitioning, because the body kind of shuts down, but the hearing's the last. The research shows the hearing's the last thing to go. Tell
Right.
the stories. Tell how you appreciate them. Tell
Yeah,
you know maybe they couldn't sing worth a lick, or maybe you could sing a song or a religious song that they like to sing. But that is a wonderful way to send that person off. And like Dr. Jeff said, when he goes with the family before he does a funeral, he finds out about a person.
yeah,
And so that's the same thing I used to do at Grady. I would tell me about this person. And then I would actually talk to the person, like, Miss Lucy, hi, I'm Chaplain Lisa, and I have your family here, and we're going to pray you on out of here. And then I start my prayer. And the family appreciates that too, because you are just not jumping in and jumping out. You're trying to get to know the person. So
yeah,
anytime you're with a person who is dying, talk to them, hold their hand, tell them
yeah,
that God is with them. I mean,
yeah.
it is such a powerful thing, and the family would appreciate it
You
because you
humanize
stepped
it.
up and did that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You humanize it. Yeah. Wow, Dr. Oliver, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
You
Did I
you
represent Lang City good? We
Yes,
did
you
that, didn't we?
did.
We did
West
that.
side, west side.
West
Let me
side,
tell
yeah, the best
let me
side.
tell you, you are a blessing to this nation. You are a blessing to this world. Your contributions in what you are doing in this space at this time, I can't say enough. It's so necessary, and especially for folks that look like us.
Yes.
This is where we lack because you think about all of the savings and all that Big Mama did to send folks to school and put a little sugar in their hand and save something on the side. How Big Daddy did what they did and saved money and worked for us and had a home and then had another home and all of
Right.
this. And then all of a sudden, because we did not plan, the state
Yes.
comes in and says, I'm sorry,
Yes.
but you can't have access to any of this.
Right. It's awful. It's awful. So that's another grief,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah,
lost with the parents worked
yeah,
for so hard.
yeah.
So
Well, thank you again. We got to have you
thank
back.
you.
One more time, guys. Listen, let's give it up for Dr. Lisa Oliver and all the
Yay!
you go check out that website. Go check out that website. And listen, she's got some ways you can donate. We always ask folks for their cash app. What's that cash app? What's that cash app, Dr. Lisa?
Hashtag LC Oliver on Cash App.
Is it
LC
hashtag
Oliver.
or is it money
I'm
sign?
sorry. Dollar sign. Dollar
Dollar
sign.
sign. What is it?
LC Oliver. Hold on.
LC.
Actually, let me look. Hold on. Let me look because I might
Yeah,
mess up my money here because I ain't doing
yeah.
this right.
Don't
Hold
mess
on.
up your money now. Don't mess up
Don't
your
mess up
money.
my money. I wasn't expecting this, die. I'm just saying.
Hey,
Hold on.
we want people to
Oh,
be
I'm sorry. How did I mess myself up like this? Dollar sign DR
DR
LC
LC.
Oliver.
Okay.
Dr.
Earn,
LC Oliver.
earn.
So, okay, Dr. Jeff, one thing we need to do, we need to talk about filial, and then, the actual filial plan, and then we need to talk about going through an advanced directive, at least from the state of Georgia side. So set me up for that, if you don't mind.
Got you, Dr. LC. What am I doing wrong here? Did I do that right? Dr.
Oh,
LC Oliver.
D-
Yeah, that's it. That's it. DRLCOLIVER.
IVER. Yep.
That's it. That's it. Listen, be a blessing to our sister tonight. Go ahead and donate. She would appreciate it. She is a professional at what she does, and we want to be a blessing to her because she has blessed us tonight. We have you on the list to come back again. We'll set
Okay.
it up for February. February. We got some
Do
powerful
you
hitters.
now?
Not as much as
Okay.
you, not as much as you, but we got a surprise. We got a surprise in February.
Oh, good to
Uh,
hear.
we got a person that deals with African American Black history that is going to blow your mind. I mean,
Wow.
just
Looking forward to it.
this show is about edutainment. We don't do gossip. We don't do
Right.
spilled tea or anything about that. We want to be a blessing to people. We want people to
Right.
be better as they listen to what we're talking about. And I can tell you that tonight we are better
Well,
because
thank
of
you.
your contributions.
Well,
God bless
thank you.
you all. Listen, you know what I always say, meet needs, solve problems. And tonight we have met needs and we have solved problems. So until next Tuesday, God bless you. Dr. Lisa, we love you. Thank you so much. Love to your
Love you
family.
too.
Peace
Thank you,
and
Jeff.
blessings. Ain't
All
you
right.
forever.
You know.
You know. Hold on with me, Dr. Lisa. Don't hang
Okay.
up yet, okay? We're gonna end the
Okay.
stream, but hold on.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to get these comments in. My gosh, look at this. This wow. They're telling people the like buttons. Look at this.
Oh,
Thank you so much. Dr. Cornell Williams, soon to be. Kiva, look.
oh, congrats.
Yeah, they're all
I
loving it.
see.
All loving it. Okay, hold on.
Look at you with this vision, Dr. Jeff. Look at you. The